could I have a large ice, extra extra, and a sausage, egg, and cheese on a cinnamon raisin bagel?
Large ice, extra sausage, egg, and cheese, and cinnamon raisin.
Yep.
Is that all?
That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I get a weird order. I love these guys because you know that stuff's all strapped super good and tight up there. Good morning, guys and girls. Once again, it's Saturday. We're heading down to Lakeville to New England Muscle Cars. We're going to work on the 69 Chevelle again today. I've got three main objectives for today. One, first and foremost, is to figure out why I've got no communication with this powertrain system and see if I can fix that. Two is to get the trinary switch in the front end of the vehicle and get the AC pretty much all the way wired. And three is to mount and wire all the inputs I can at this time to the Dakota Digital brain box. Anything else I get done besides that is just a bonus for today. So, and then tomorrow we are going back to Ferrari, Sunday. Yay! And we're going to continue assembling, and I should be able to get the entire long block painted for McDreamy's LSA. And other than that, I'm just gonna do what I do. All right, guys, we're here. I got right into it this morning. This whole non-communication on this ECM thing was really weighing on my head all week because it's a major issue if we can't get this resolved. And wiring and diagnostic wise, no problem. The problem is if we got a bad ECM. So first thing I did, my truck and this car both use a E38 ECM. We just have different transmission controllers because I have a 4L60, this has a 6L80. I pulled this ECM and put it in my truck, hooked up my HP tuners. I was able to communicate, read parameters, the whole 9 yards. I was like, okay, so I've got a wiring issue within this car. I started poking around, doing a whole bunch of stuff. Found the transmission connector was not fully seated, not by a long shot. Got that thing seated, and it was like a major like click, put in, turn, seat. Oh crap, that wasn't seated at all before. And now I have all my communication. It's beautiful. Already pulled the tune out of it. Where am I? Down here. So now I've got a tune. I can start swapping all the parameters I know I got to change for this cam swap and whatnot, so we can basically just fire up, go, and do some air fuel tuning. Super psyched. That's a major part that was really gonna kick my ass if we didn't figure it out. So now, today, there's a center console on the table over there. I'm gonna get that center console in here. I'm going to lay out where I'm going to mount this ECM and this fuse block, and I also have on the back of this Chevy, that's my temporary workbench over there. I'm going to grab the Dakota Digital brain box and figure out where within here we can mount that with the center console. I kind of want to put it under the center console. And then I also, since this I got figured out so much faster than I thought I was going to. I thought it was going to be a knuckle dragging fight. I can figure out, if you remember last week I was having issues with my windshield wipers. We got the cowl off and all that good, so I can really get into those and get that going. So without further ado, I'm going to do some layout and see where I can mount all this crap. So the ADHD is in full effect today because I've started no less than 7 different projects on this thing already, and moved on to another project halfway in between finishing it because I've looked up and went, oh, I need to take care of that too. So we're under the wipers, which I now after doing some pinouts, some schematics, we now have functioning wipers. None of the pins were where they were supposed to be, but we now have low speed, we have high speed. If you listen for the click, we've got washer, and we've got park. Unfortunately, this side, the inside of this, the splines have destroyed themselves. So we're going to have to get another one to fix that. But hey, one project down, on to the next. All right, it's been decided the Dakota Digital brain box is going to mount right here. I'm still working out what I'm going to do with the ECM and that fuse block, but I've got an idea. But I want to get this done first, because the way my brain is functioning today, if I don't start and finish this project, it's never going to get done. We are mounted, and if you remember, I've already got my wires tied off over here. My reds go to my radio, hot and switched, and then we've got directional high beams. So these wires I'm going to hook into here today. Then I'm going to hook in my ground, my constant power, and my accessory power. And I can actually run my fuel sender wire up too. That's the pink wire that's in this harness. And that's basically all we're plugging into this, because we're going to use the aux input output with an OBD2 adapter and plug right into my OBD2 port to get speed, tack, water, oil, basically everything. Everything that the factory ECM will get, which is all signals, that will send it to that, which will send it to my cluster. So I am going to start doing a little bit of wiring, and actually I'm going to see if I can find my BIM module and mount that as well. Further progress has been made. So the BIM module is mounted up there, it's wired into there. My light signals are wired into there. My grounds are wired in. I have to wire in my constant and my switched power, and I didn't want to do that until I've got this stuff figured out, because I need to do switched power to power my powertrain management cables as well. But I couldn't do that until I figured out where the hell we were going to put the ECM. So after much deliberation, I decided that if we mount the ECM tucked up as high as we can under there, run the cables for it behind the vintage air. These wires are wires I need for inputs. We'll go over those in a second. We can mount the fuse block. This is my drive-by-wire cable. We can mount the fuse block up under here on standoffs, so it's still accessible, but it's out of the way. And then we're going to make a block-off plate that can be taken out, that the carpet goes over, so that you can still access all this stuff if you need to. And I think that's going to work out the best. So now I can run my powers, my grounds, my illuminations, all that stuff over, done. So almost all interior wiring will be finished after today. So my outputs. So we have here, my brown has to go over to the Dakota Digital box. If you look on here, where is it? Right there, check engine. The brown is my check engine light. So if there is a fault within this factory ECU, the Dakota Digital has a check engine light, which is amazing. That's awesome. So then we have green. Green is my fan trigger that I have to run out the hole in the firewall where the amp wire goes through. And purple is my brake TCC signal, so that when you hit your brakes, it unlocks your torque converter, because otherwise you're going to have a bad day. So I'm going to start getting that stuff taken care of, get my power and switched power to the Dakota Digital, run wires where I need to run them out through the firewall, and then probably call it a day, because it's almost noon. I'm figuring I'll work till 1 today, since I am working today and tomorrow, and my dogs do miss me. So I'm gonna go home after I get done doing this wiring and hang out with the dogs and have some food. But before I do that, of course, I'm gonna get all this crap run and power it all up and make sure it works, and crank the engine over. I actually didn't check when I had my HV tuners hooked up to it if all my sensors were working, which they should be because that's just how they are. But I want to make sure I have cranking oil pressure and everything. So we're going to do that after I get done doing some more wiring. Holy hell, that was fun. Not. But we're all neatly bolted in there now. I've just got to clean up this wiring a little bit. So this bundle that's right here, these are for things we're not using, like if you're using external tach input or mile per hour, speedometer input, yada yada. So I'm going to leave these here. We're going to tie them up in there just in case whoever ends up buying this wants to change some stuff up. It's better that it's here and tied up than snipped off and gone completely and they have to get a whole new harness. But now I also ran my power into and power out to the yellow for my fuel pump. So I'm gonna finish hooking up what wires I have in here for my powers and grounds, and then probably terminate that fuel pump feed off of the battery and then call it a day, because it's been a lot of small stuff today. Again, as usual, I'm seeing a trend start. But we did a lot of talking, me and Noah, the body guy, on plans for McDreamy that's over here in multiple places, spread out all over that side of the shop. It's coming along good. John is knocking the exhaust out of the park over at FX Innovations. He's almost done. I think I saw a video. He's smoke testing the exhaust to make sure it's sealed, and then he's taking it apart. Powder coat is actually next door to his shop, so he's going to bring it all over there, get it powder coated, reassemble it for us, bring it back, and an engine that I should hopefully have done by the time it gets back, that LSA, will be ready to go in. And then we're on a whole nother bunch of deadlines. Yay. So let me get these powers and grounds hooked up, and we will do a couple final voltage checks to make sure everything's good, and then call it a day. All right, we are finished wired for powers and grounds and signals to the Dakota Digital, to the ECM, to the power block for the ECM, from the battery to the fuel pump relay to the fuel pump. I think I'm pretty much good. At this point, I think I could just plug the gauges in and everything should be good. But we're going to do a check here. I have my power probe at the back. You should hear a beep and it should turn off to indicate that our fuel pump prime is working. Let's see if we can hear it. It's amazing how the music stopped perfectly just to hear that. So that's good. So we are good. So to finish up here, I'm going to plug my laptop back into it and make sure I have all the signals that I want to have, all the readings actually I should say, and then I'm going to clean up. So that might be a day. So let me go get my laptop. So let's see if we can build some oil pressure. There we go. That took a while. But hey, 60 pounds of cranking oil pressure, that's pretty damn decent. So we are good. I'm calling it a day with that. I'm gonna clean up, take care of everything, put all my tools away. Just heard a weird noise under there. I didn't realize it was the powertrain relay powering down because I shut the key off. We're gonna clean up. We're done for the day. That's, again, not a lot of stuff. It's just a lot of time-consuming stuff, but we have a custom fuel tank being built for this because the stock fuel tank that's over there in the ground simply is not going to work. Too close to the chassis all the way around. There's no way John would be able to get exhaust around it. So John is actually building a custom gas tank. Big shout out to John. Doing a lot on this one. I believe he's going to build it and then it's going over to him to have the exhaust put in, and he's going to put his fuel tank in at the same time. Then when it gets back here, unless he's going to plumb it, I can plumb it and we should be running. That's going to be fun. But until then, we'll just show you a shot of the spaghetti on the way out.